the energy drink industry is what it is. People are craving more energy.
All right, welcome back to the Rest, Eat, Move podcast. Again, you're hearing from Matt Johnson 2 weeks in a row. We're going through this 3-part series, Ask Chris 5 Questions. I thought our first discussion on gut health was really important. I thought those 5 tips were fantastic. And I think at the end of the day, the theme through all of this is you got to look inward and ask yourself these better questions. We all need different tactics, different tips, a little bit of motivation sprinkled in. As always, if you have any questions, any thoughts, any way we can help, shoot us an email, info@ontargetliving.com. We discuss the FAQs on our website, our new website. Remember, we have an app, we have resources, and if you get stuck along the way, pick up the phone, shoot us an email. We're here to help. So as we continue in week 2, and I have my dad back for Ask Chris 5 Questions, my favorite topic to talk about is energy. I really believe energy is our most precious commodity. I think everyone believes it's time. Everyone's in a hurry. Everyone's frantic. But when you ask them the follow-up, everyone's fatigued. I think everyone's searching for that magical sprinkle of energy, whether it's a quick fix, emergency vacation, different ways to boost the energy. But I always have people tell me they're after more energy. And I hear things like, I'm tired. I'm tired. That's what I hear over and over again. I'm tired. Or the opposite that I always read into lack of energy is, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like making dinner. I don't feel like exercising. I don't feel like putting in the effort. Those are 2 energy issues, and that's what we're going to address today. So welcome in my dad. What is energy in your opinion, and how important is it for you?
Well, I think you did a really good job when we co-wrote the book Capacity, and you talked about it. It kind of hit me like we really try to manufacture energy. And I never looked at energy as like, we try to manufacture it, whether it's caffeine, energy drinks. So, and you said this, and again, it really hit me like, how can we not make it through the day without an energy drink or a pot of coffee? So there's got to be something that's missing, because if you don't have energy, as you mentioned, it is our greatest commodity. If you don't have, it doesn't matter about time. If I got all the time and I have no energy, I don't feel like it. I'm just not going to do it. If I say, hey, I'm gonna work out, but I feel crummy, there's not a lot of juice there. So it really is kind of a elusive thing out there. It's hard to measure what's your energy like. So, but I really like when you started talking about manufacturing it. How do we do it naturally?
But we've been manufacturing it for forever, right? It's always been a way to, but that, to me, I look at it and say, well, that's why it's so important. We wouldn't just have been manufacturing it for thousands of years if it's not important.
I remember when college people, and again, not naming names, but I had people in my circle would take amphetamines during finals. I mean, they would just, hey, this is the way I stay up all night.
Yeah, I mean, back when you were in college, it maybe was a different amphetamine,
right?
Or
it's just different
caffeine pills, right, or whatever. But now it's like a science class.
You see
Adderall.
Energy drinks and Adderall, and I mean, I'm just completely oblivious to it. But when you look at the digestive aisles, you look at some of the energy drink things out there. It's crazy. There's something new on the market every day.
I was leaving the store. I go to a health food store, grab lunch on my way to work, and I look over, and I mean, I wasn't even paying attention really, but I look over, and this guy in his van stopped at the stoplight. I see him twist off, and I can tell it's a 5-hour energy, and he tips it back, shoots it back, and then he puts it down, and then he shoots it back again to get the last 2 droplets. And I'm thinking, man, just based on that action, you can tell this guy's desperate for energy. I mean, it's 8:30.
Well, you see them coming out of, when I get gas sometimes in the morning, they're coming out and they got the Dunkin' Donuts in a I mean, that's how they start their day. It was
Well,
just,
what's their energy going to be like in 2 hours?
it's going to plummet again.
So anyway, before we go on this tangent, so energy is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
We're manufacturing energy. Sometimes I say that and I don't think it registers with people. But if you really think about it, we're out of anything, whether it's the energy drink industry, Adderall increase, different stimulants, pre-workouts, post-workouts, supplementation, alpha brain, all these things that are these miracles, all about increasing energy. What's energy feel and look like for you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? It's not measurable. Your wearable doesn't tell you your energy.
Well, I remember when I was in college, I worked on the assembly line at Oldsmobile, and
That sounds fun.
it was fun. Yeah, it was really a great experience. I worked there 4 summers, then I worked for almost a full year when I got out of school. So I spent a lot of time in the factory in my early life. But I remember everybody always around me during coffee breaks would always want to bring me coffee. I didn't like the taste of coffee. And I remember early in the morning, they were like, how do you wake up in the morning? And I'm like, well, I just eat food and I drink my water and I kind of
Sleep 8 hours.
sleep 8 hours. And they're like, it was just, it was oblivious to me at the time. Like, how do you, and then I went to work for Butternut Bread and everybody's getting up super early and the whole day was all caffeine. So what energy looks like to me is, I feel like I got that juice during my day. I'm excited about my day. I got energy to do the stuff I want to do. I'm not dragging. And again, not saying I haven't done that before, but I really try to protect and build my energy. And I'm aware of that more than ever. I turned 65 in a little bit. So I'm really aware of protecting and building my energy. Because I know if I have great energy, then I can do all the stuff I want to do and I feel fantastic.
So you got to be a little bit, this word's always negative, but a little bit selfish to be selfless, to give, right? So you got to give yourself this energy if you expect to radiate this energy, right?
Correct.
So that's, I think, one of the things that we're going to hear probably from your top 5. But energy is the most precious commodity. The way that you know that is think about a moment in time or several hours or days where you have time and no energy. Whether you're sick or whether you're, done an all-nighter, it's not something that you'd choose to be in.
Well, you think about, we've all done this. We're not feeling well. We don't have a whole lot of energy.
But
that's how the body, body's going to help you recover. You're tired. Now, COVID, everybody could, heard about that, looked about it. But the other thing too is if you haven't had a good night's sleep, let's just say you have 3 hours of sleep, you might do okay in the beginning of the day, but boy, in the afternoon, you're so the big thing you got to do, and again, back to meeting with people, talking to clients, but I ask them about energy. And again, I've never been asked that before. So tell me what your energy is like on a 1 to 10 scale. And they'll say, well, because they've never been asked that. They're not even aware.
And they
of
only
it.
know their energy.
They only know their energy. And so then I ask them the second question is like, how do you build your energy? How do you protect your energy? And then we start getting in some really good, interesting conversations. So then if we get into the weeds about, blocking and tackling, they start putting the dots together. This is what I want. I want to have better. If you could give people more energy.
We do energy drinks.
What would they? Yeah, exactly right. But what if you could do it in a much, much healthier way? What are people willing to do or pay for that? Right. So that's what I always get back to. If this is what you want, if the energy drink industry is what it is, people are craving more energy, but I truly believe they don't understand how to build it and protect it.
Well, it's hit me a couple of times when I'm speaking, and I talk about energy a lot. I one of the blessings that I have is I felt like I've had really peak energy, and I know when I don't have it, and so I want to get back there. I was talking about energy. I must have been talking about energy in a presentation, and I came back, and this lady stood up after, and she's like, hey, you were talking about energy, and I was like, and I wrote this in the book, I was like, I have fine energy. What is he talking about? Like, this isn't a benefit. This isn't something to motivate me. And then I followed some of these tips and I started to, and then I got it because I felt it. And I think that's if there's, something behind the curtain, something behind the curtain is there is this natural energy that's, I think, optimal energy that I would say most people haven't experienced maybe ever. And if they have, it's been a long time. So that's, to me, the motivator to seek energy, because until you experience it, you're probably never going to know what it feels like.
Well, and I think you're uncovering something that we're not talking enough about, and that's the self-awareness of feeling. Your grandfather, my dad, he always would say, you feel good, don't you? And he goes, I really don't know what that feels like. And so he always it was always something he was trying, but he never could get that. And then I said to him, Dad, when do you feel your best? He goes, I feel my best when I have a shower, my shoes are shined, and I got a suit on. And I said, how long does that last? He goes, it lasts for about an hour or two. So that's the point, is like that self-awareness that when you do have it, you kind of want to maintain it. And you can do that a lot more than people think.
And it's fun to search for it and build it and protect it if that's, again, a part of your priorities.
Without having to go down all the crazy paths.
So let's get into the top 5 for you. Top 5 ways for you to harvest your energy.
So just before I jump into that, the last question I always ask people is, how does your body create energy? And it really comes in the cell. So we talk a lot about the cell membrane, the nucleus, but your energy is actually coming from the mitochondria. And that's the power pack, that's the car engine of the cell. Well, if that's really the case, then how do you make that mitochondria healthier? So now we get into the top 5, and my big one,
So the cell is the why.
The cell is the science of
energy.
Where the energy is coming from. ATP. How does the body make energy? So imagine you got this little factory making all these little ATP, and then the next thing you know, that's where your energy is. That's why you will notice you have less or more depending on what you do. Now, you might do a manufactured energy and you're stimulating these ATP, but they get tired very quickly, and then you need another shot. And that's why it keeps going back and forth versus sustainable higher energies. So I kind of try to explain that to people and just help them understand that. But the number one way you're going to have energy is how you eat.
So number one way for you is how you eat.
How I eat. It's the quality of what I eat, and it's the frequency of what I eat, and it's the fasting. So I try to fast 12 to 14 hours overnight. I try to do the oatmeal on the run. I'm making sure that I'm eating high quality foods. And if I do that, and I space that out every 3.5 to 4 hours, my energy will be fantastic.
So energy comes from food.
Comes from food.
And so you're improving your cells by the quality of the food.
Right, so now you're giving those little power packs in the cell all those wonderful nutrients. It's not a flash in the pan. Here's the adrenaline rush. It's the continuous energy. So the big one for me is food.
And it's not just calories. Actually, that doesn't really, it's probably 6 on your list.
No, I tell this story way back in the day. You've heard it 100 times, but your mother likes to make these date cookies at Christmas time. And years ago, I came downstairs and the date cookies are hot off the oven. I have 1 or 2 date cookies. My big mistake is I'm just going to have 1 or 2. And the next thing I had like 22. So I had all these calories. I had no energy. My energy went up, went down. I couldn't stop eating. My insulin was overproduced. That's what people are like, I'm addicted to carbs. No, you're addicted to the energy spike. Energy comes back down. The only way to get back up is not broccoli. It's something that's going to stimulate quickly. So food is a big deal. The frequency of when we eat. If I overeat, back to thinking your gut is a washing machine. If I pack that washing machine too full, then I'm probably not going to have great energy. So I really look at what I'm eating, how I'm eating, when I'm eating.
All right. Number 1 is food. Number 2.
Number 2 is directly related to sleep. So I really am pretty, cognitive about when do I go to bed, when do I get up, and try to give myself that 8.5, 9 hours in the bed. Not always asleep that whole time, but I really pay attention to my sleep. So that's
Hormones, lymphatic system,
all that
the
stuff. So
benefits
again,
that
I'm
we
gonna have great energy. I'm gonna feel like I'm sharp. So sleep is a big deal.
All right, number 3.
Number 3 is hydration. Because if I know I'm dehydrated, my blood volume goes down, my energy goes down. So if I want to quickly, I tell people all the time, you want to quickly improve your energy, start drinking more water frequently during your day. It will keep your blood volume higher, your energy level be higher, you have better gut health, all the stuff that comes with that.
So high blood volume, higher energy.
Definitely related. So if you're dehydrated, you will not have the energy you want because the body's going to draw from your blood is the first way, and that's dehydration. So a lot of bad things start to happen when you're dehydrated.
Number 4.
Number 4 is going to be all around movement. I always tell people, motion creates positive emotion. Even if I don't feel like it sometimes, if I just want to jumpstart my energy, I just get moving a little bit. Mini trampoline, using my arms, but just a little bit of movement, my energy level comes back up.
Number 5.
And the last one, I'm just going to do a little combination here.
Uh-oh.
Little combo is sunlight. So sunlight to me, I can just go outside and walk for a little bit and my energy is instantly better. Even if it's in Michigan in the wintertime, just being outside, sunlight, whatever. And I'm going to throw this on top of that is hot and cold. So we travel a lot. If I'm really trying to stimulate my energy, and it's kind of a hack here, is it going to be a hot and cold shower?
But there's science to it.
There's huge science to it. Helps you draw your blood into your organs, to your extremities, back and forth, helps the immune system. And it's one of my great hacks to improve my energy if I need to do that. So again, hot and cold is a big one. But if you think about the stuff we talked about today, and you did this day in and day out, and again, we're not getting into the weeds too much, breathing and sleeping, we kind of put those together. These are all ways to improve your energy. And again, if I'm really trying to, get my energy up, it's going to be simple stuff: the breathing, the water, the hot and cold. So I'm giving you more than 5. Sorry.
Well, you're going after the cell. And so number 1 was food. Number 2 is sleep.
And sleeping and breathing, I kind of use those together.
Now he's adding 10.
Yeah.
Number 3 is hydration. 4 is movement. 5, that combo, sunlight, hot and cold. Love this list. I think everybody at 64 and a half,
almost 65,
a little bit more. I think your energy is very high. I saw you after watching the 3 kids. Wasn't as high, so I'm not sure if you were.
Oh, they were. I was trying to protect my energy.
I don't know what piece was missed there, but energy is a big deal. It's our most precious commodity. I'll only say this to you if you're listening and you're thinking, well, I think I have good energy. Really strive to uncover your energy potential, because once you get there, you're going to know you're there. And once you're there, you're going to want to always get back there. And that'll start to help motivate and regulate some of.
And as you mentioned, it's not always going to be perfect. So after watching my 3 grandkids for 5 days, energy probably wasn't peak at the end of that.
Did you hear him? He said 3. He was thinking, well, maybe there's 7, because he felt like he's
seemed like
over.
that.
All right, as we wrap up, we only get 24 hours in the day. That's time. And hopefully 8 hours of that 24 is spent sleeping. But we can all harvest our unique energy. I'm a huge proponent of this. We wrote a book on energy with capacity. Everything we talk about, from rest, eat, move, comes back to energy. Our slogan, "You have the power to feel your best," again, is all about energy. Again, flip the script. Time is important. I hear people say, oh, I don't have time, I'm in a hurry. Focus on your energy. That time will start to be better, and we'll stop really getting in that trap of thinking, I only have so much time. It's all about how much energy you have with that time. We'll see you again next week for part 3 of our 3-part series. Again, if you have any questions, info@ontargetliving.com. This is Matt Johnson. We'll see you again next week.